I'm here with Cody Jenks, and he's a classic American tale of someone who started out washing trucks and eventually got his own. Cody, what can you tell us about this truck?
So it's a 2014. Originally came as a glider kit. It's got a 3406 2WS cat in it. It's a 550 cat, nothing special. Few things I've done to it: 20-inch bumper, new visor, new pipes, a couple lights here and there. I don't like to get crazy lights, just a few here and there. A little bit on the interior. I did a 14-inch stainless steering wheel, shifter knob, switches, stuff like that. Yeah, this is my workhorse.
Now, what is it that you normally haul with this?
So I do a little bit of everything. I pull a multi-axle tanker around Michigan, out of Canada sometimes, actually quite a bit. I haul urea, diesel exhaust fluid, liquid fertilizer. We do some Pepsi stuff too. We'll go help them out when they're slammed. So like last week, I ran Pepsi all throughout Michigan. So yeah, I usually stick to a tanker for the most part.
Yeah, that sounds like you got quite a full plate there.
Oh yeah, it's a lot to take in some days.
Right. Did you do any of the work on this yourself?
Well, you see behind me my old black truck. This was my old truck back here. They wanted to give me this truck because the driver that was in this truck was getting a new truck. So I had a month to get this truck done for the St. Ignace Truck Show, which is actually in a month. There was no fuel tanks on it. The frame was sandblasted. Beforehand, the frame was blue. The fenders were red on the truck, or on the rear end. So I had pretty much a month to get it done, and I just busted butt day and night to try and get it done. And finally rolled out of the shop at 6 a.m. on Thursday morning to roll up to the truck show. So, but from last year to this year, it's went through some changes. New bumper, grill's all new, RLK visor, Dynaflex stacks, Hogue-built fenders, RLK stainless rear bumper on the back, some 12-gauge step covers, some custom-made big Iron Boy step plates that I had made from Wisconsin. So it's a little work in progress, a couple things here and there when I'm not too busy trucking. So
now, do you ever drive by in this one and see your old truck and be like, I still love you, baby?
Yeah, every once in a while. I actually just ran with him the other day. I had to go down to Maumee, Ohio, and my brother actually drives this one, and he had to go to Detroit, so we ran from Weberville to Brighton together, and I was like, man, this is so cool. I'm like, I kind of miss my old truck, but I don't at the same time. So yeah, it's pretty cool seeing my old truck, and he takes care of it pretty well, so it's pretty cool seeing that.
I like how you guys Linexed the toolboxes and the fuel tanks.
Yeah.
Everyone is, so when you do a blackout job, everyone is, they'll black it out with spray paint, or they'll black out everything except for the tanks because everyone wants the chrome.
Yeah.
But I gotta tell you, on that truck, it really looks good having that rubberized coating.
Right.
I know we're doing this truck, folks, but we're gonna give you a dabble of the other old one.
So basically, like the bed liner on that truck, because that truck sprays chloride, which is like 70% water and 30% salt. We do that in the summertime on the dirt roads, and that just helps it stay a lot cleaner.
Oh,
so
yeah.
you don't even have to scrub it. You can just power wash it right off and you're done. You don't have to touch nothing.
Then it helps protect it from
Yes,
stuff.
exactly.
And
And
seal it up a lot better.
Yeah, and it helps it from rusting, stuff like that. So that's kind of the main reason behind that bed liner right there.
It looks awesome on there, though, I tell you.
Yeah.
I like it. The only thing that truck's missing is some bigger tubes sticking out both sides.
Yep.
That's the
I
only
tried
thing.
Fighting for those, but yep.
Someday. Well, thank you very much for the interview.
Yes, thank you. I appreciate it.
Keep on trucking, buddy.
Appreciate it.
One of the really neat things about touring all of these shows and getting to know everybody is when you run into someone and you do an interview with them, and at first they kind of don't seem very excited about it, but the more that they get into it, the more they realize it's another community thing having to do with trucks. And as you'll see, this next one, he didn't seem that excited at first, but we ran into him at a future show that you're going to see on an upcoming episode. We didn't really film anything with him, but it was really neat that he came up to the booth and asked about when his was going to be aired. Without further ado, here's his bit. Alright, I'm here with Steve Truitt. While we were walking through the show, I turned around and I saw this big orange and black truck with a swan on the hood. Caught my attention. I had to find out what the story was. Why don't you go ahead and give us the rundown on this?
It's a 2009 Freightliner Classic, 50 Caterpillar, 18 speed.
So what does she do on a normal basis?
It runs. We run auto parts to Detroit with it.
All right. So I noticed the orange, and I noticed you got Harley on your hat.
Yeah.
Is that there wouldn't have to be a correlation there, would there?
No, the orange, because Tony Stewart race cars orange. That's originally where the truck came from.
I was wrong. Well.
And Tony Stewart, Gibbs Racing had it. And Jimmy Sercombe bought the trucks off of them. And then when he was ready to sell, we bought it off of him. And that's why it's orange. And then we put the black stripes on it.
So have you ever taken this to the track yourself?
No.
No?
No, just worked it, nothing else. It's been, this is actually the first show it's been to.
That's a nice truck. Now, so how long have you had this truck?
We've had it 3 years.
3 years?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. How long have you been in trucking yourself?
30 years.
30 years. Would you say that there's any truck that you love? You know, what was your favorite truck in those 30 years? If you could have the exact same truck brand new.
Well, actually, the one I got out of was a classic Freightliner. It was just like this one, except it was a flat top. I drove that truck for 16 years.
You had a good run with it.
Yeah, it's a good truck. It's still actually on the road yet. So.
And that's the thing is, I hear often a lot of guys have trucks that have been on the road for like 3 decades. That's common here, but what I don't hear very often is that somebody has a truck for longer than a decade. So that's a pretty good run. So now, all this custom work that you've done to it, about how many hours would you say you put into fixing this truck up?
We had to touch up the paint, and it took 6 weeks to find the paint to match the color. And we got about a month into putting the stripes on it and getting the chrome cleaned all up and everything on it. But otherwise, it's been working.
And it always is.
Yeah.
Even if you're not customizing it to look pretty, just if you decide to touch anything on a truck, it's a lot of work.
Yeah, it's a lot of work, a lot of money, yes.
So, yeah, this is a beautiful truck. I love the orange color. Like I said, my correlation went straight to Harley, but yeah.
And it's just shy of 1 million miles on the truck right now.
That's a good run too. Now, in all your years of trucking, is there anything that you've ever picked up, a bit of wisdom of like something that you do special to maintain the truck?
Well, you just gotta keep your services and your work, you gotta look for everybody else that's driving. You can't just take care of yourself. You gotta watch the other people, but that's where you get into problems.
Yeah, that's where, you rarely ever, when you hear a story about a truck driver rolling over or going off the road or something, you rarely ever hear that, oh, he was texting or not paying attention. It's usually someone cut him off or somebody slammed on their brakes in front of him or something along those lines.
You gotta learn to, just like you're on a motorcycle, you gotta learn to anticipate what the other person's gonna do.
Yeah. Sometimes you don't even know. The truck itself might do something.
Right.
And you got to be able to handle that thing and mentally be prepared. So, well, thank you very much for the interview.
Thank you.
Folks, enjoy the orangeness. Love it. And we'll get on to the next one. Here with Mike Taylor. Look at this beauty of a Kenworth cab over truck here. Mike, what can you tell us about this truck here?
It's 1984. I bought it in 94. And It's all original. It's got 522,000 miles on it. Factory 3406B, 6 4, 210-inch wheelbase. I found out, I got the build sheet for it back in February 2017. Found out who the original owner was and did some inquiring on Facebook. Somebody recognized the name, and I got talking with the gentleman through Messenger, and he told me that he passed away in December before that, so I didn't get a chance to talk to him about the truck. But I found out that it was he ordered it brand new. He turned it in a year and a half later under lemon law. But I haven't been able to find out why. And from when it got turned in until when I bought it in Pinckney, Michigan.
Oh, that's where I'm from.
There used to be, and I don't know if it's still there or not, but I found it in an auto swapper. And the guy was selling cars, used cars, and he bought it for his son to drive to go pick up cars, but he didn't know how to shift it. And he told me that he bought it from a logger in Wisconsin, and that's where the truck originally was ordered from, a dealer in Wisconsin. So 2 years ago, when we're up at St. Ignace, we were walking around and looking at a guy's older Mac, and I recognized the guy's last name. So I asked him about it, and he says, yeah, it was his cousin. So we've been going back and forth. He was supposed to get me some pictures of when the gentleman originally that bought the truck had it, but I haven't got anything yet. So, because I want to try to make up like a board to kind of explain, So
We love when people do that too.
Yeah.
It's really cool to get to see
the history of, yeah. But I would really like to find out from when he turned it in until, well, when the guy in Pinckney bought it. That era, I mean, his truck's been on Facebook enough the last 3-4 years, but nobody's ever said anything. That, oh yeah, I remember that truck, so-and-so had it, nothing. So I don't know what happened to it.
So if you see this truck and you know anything about it, don't be shy. Give us a shout so we can get back to Mike here on it. Man, there's nothing more annoying than a missing link.
Right, exactly. So hopefully we can get something good out of it, I guess.
What do you haul with this? I see a part of a train on there.
Yeah, I haul my own grain with it.
Oh, okay.
I used to haul some fertilizer and stuff when I first got it. I've got another truck too, so this is just more or less the toy now. So, but it still does get used. It's not like it's a barn queen or anything like that.
Queen. That's
by no means.
Trucks are made for working.
Right.
They're not made for sitting.
Right.
All right. Well, about how many horsepower does this thing have?
It's factory 400 horse.
400. It's not a bad number.
No, it's turned up a little bit. How much, I don't know. I've never had a dyno. So.
Now, I always ask these older trucks and stuff like that. She's obviously, like you said, she's still working. Is there any, do you have any, little thing that's, your thing that you do to it to keep it running good?
I mean, not really. I mean, you just do general maintenance and keep it clean, and you got to treat it just like any other piece of iron. If you don't take care of it, it ain't going to take care of you.
Consecutively. That is the answer that I consecutively get. I never get anyone that's like, oh yeah, I put peanut butter in the transmission class. It's always just stay on the maintenance, folks. Don't let them fall apart.
Exactly.
Well, Mike, thank you for the interview.
Not a problem.
And it's just a beautiful cab over, and good luck. If we hear anything, we'll make sure we contact you.
All right, I appreciate it.
Alright, I'm here with James Curtis, and it should be no surprise this truck caught our attention. I mean, look at that paint job. It is absolutely gorgeous. James, why don't you go ahead and give us a rundown on this truck?
This is a 2000 Freightliner Classic. It's got a 14 liter 600 Detroit in it, 275 wheelbase. It was done on the show Trick My Truck, Drum Shop Mafia in 2005. Rhino painted it, airbrush, it's all muraled, so it's had a paint job for 14 years now. I'm the third owner of this truck. Darlene Swift had it built on the show. She sold it, and then I bought it about four and a half years ago. It's got 1.5 million miles on it.
That's running the distance right there. Now, does this work, or is it just a showpiece?
It works every day. Matter of fact, I just loaded a load of tomatoes to Texas yesterday and delivered in Toledo this morning.
Oh,
1,500 miles.
nice. She's still
And
going.
she's loading tomorrow, going to Florida for Monday morning.
Now, you said, several people have owned this truck, and you have it now.
Yep.
Is there anything that you personally have done to this truck?
Yes, I have put the covers on it, redid the lights on the front. Other than that, I haven't done anything to the truck. Everything's pretty much the way she had it built. But yeah, I'm going to be changing some other things. The visor, and we did some stuff on the inside. We did some cowboy rope on the other inside, and wood floors and stuff like that.
Now, what is a normal routine for your maintenance on your trucks? Do you have anything that you do that a lot of other guys don't, that you find helps out?
Most guys that have trucks, that own their own trucks, they pretty much 10 to 15,000 on the oil change. Every 5,000 we grease it, truck and trailer. Maintenance will kill you if you don't.
Yes.
If you don't maintain the truck, you'll go broke, because they're gonna break on you. Whether it's new or old, it's gonna break.
Oh yeah,
Yes.
definitely.
Yes.
What got you into trucking? What was it that was was it a family thing, or?
No, my real father didn't truck. I lived a block from a produce packing house in Hartford, Michigan. And at about 4 or 5 years old, I used to go down at the railroad track and watch the trucks come in and load every day in the summer. Then I got to meet a couple of guys. I met a guy, Kenny Walker, which is my mentor, had a 1984 double bunk cab over Kenworth with a matching stainless steel reefer in 1984, 4 1/4 cat. He started taking me around to the farms, doing pickups on the farms as a kid, 6, 7 years old, riding around. Then I started meeting some brokers that were there, and all their trucks would come in, so I started riding with them every summer. They'd go out, I come back, I jump in one truck to another truck, all reefer trucks. I mean, nice trucks. And that's how I got into it. And I always wanted to be a trucker since kindergarten. And that's what I wanted to do.
Now, do you have any kids?
I got 2 girls. I got
girls.
an 18-year-old and a 15-year-old.
Are either of them, do they got it in their blood?
My 18-year-old loves the trucks. My 15-year-old don't want nothing to do with it. She's into boys.
Well, 1 out of 2 ain't bad.
Yeah, 1 out of 2 is not bad. Yeah, so.
All right. Well, thank you very much for the interview,
All right.
and this is a
Thank
beautiful
you.
truck.
Appreciate it. Thank you, guys.
This truck began its life over on the East Coast in 1962. It rolled out of the McCungy plant, the Mack plant in Pennsylvania. Ran about 7 years pulling a tanker. It was a single axle tractor, and did that for 7 years. And then some lumberyard bought it. Lumberyard bought it and had it for 30 some odd years as a switch truck. Didn't even have plates on it. Now, when we got it from a guy named Dennis Meehan, who runs oldmacs.com or oldmactrucks.com. And my grandfather looked at it. I was maybe 4 or 5 at the time. And my grandfather's name was Jack too. And so he went out there, looked at it, and he bought it and brought it back. Clean truck. It was green, had Dayton wheels all the way down and all that, and didn't have a box. It was just a regular tractor, very clean. Brought it back to Plymouth, Michigan, where they started the restoration on it. Now I'm just a little kid. Well, they repainted it. They even cut the glass, him and my uncle, and restored it in 9 months. Now the front end is off of an R model that has the same width frame, as the B model frame, which is this. Saddle tanks came off of a Freightliner that my grandfather bought for parts, and the rear end and air ride suspension came off of that same Freightliner.
So you have an air ride.
Yeah, I got air ride. I got 2 air ride seats instead of the single bench.
Nice.
And this truck has air assist power steering on it.
Really?
Which is old, and that unit came off of a 90-something CH Mac for roadway.
Huh.
So they were making that all the way up until the 90s. As a 5 and a 2 transmission, has a 185 horse inline 6 naturally aspirated Mack Thermodyne diesel. Now when we got the truck, it maybe only had about 140 to 160,000 miles on it. And we've put 30,000 on it. We, as in my grandfather and I, being a little kid, have put, well, with him, I would bet out of them 30,000 miles, I was with him for about 25,000 of them, growing up.
That's cool.
And this truck is like part of the family. He drove it, showed it. Here I am, 22 years old. He passed away in 2016, and here I am, kind of living through him through this old truck. And
carrying the torch.
And I look at all the other different trucks out here, the big, large cars. You could offer me 100 of them, and I would not trade this for them.
Wow, you got a big story with
this truck is, I grew up in this truck. And hopefully one day when I have kids and grandkids, I can take them along to truck shows like this. And, and it's just fun, but it has a headliner in it. And, the headliner is a little messy in here. Headliner is just like one of them tuck pleated deals, real. But the inside of this truck was an ugly green when it was new.
Yeah. The old Max really likes that old, army green. Almost.
Well, the thought of that was going to keep a driver awake at night. No one cared. Well, we didn't care for the green, so we just, painted it red with the cab. But it's never been touched. No repairs underneath the doors. And
that's pretty solid.
And for being an East Coast truck, it's great. But there is a lot of memories in this old truck, and she'll run down the road too. She ain't no wimp. She'll run 75, 80 mile an hour, no problem, all day long.
Wow, those the B series, I see a lot of those at the truck shows, and they're one of my favorites.
They're a very, very nostalgic truck.
Yeah,
I would say. A lot of guys started out in a B series cab. Now the B61 is no different than today's Granite being a CXU or what I drive. I drive a CL713. The C is for the cab. L is just some kind of letter that they put in. 700 out of the 713 is the series and what engine you got. Well, with the B61, same concept, a B model cab. It was rated to pull 60,000 pounds. Not gross it, but pull 60,000 pounds down the road. Now, if it had an odd number, like the one, it had a diesel. If it had a even number, it had the 711 gas job in it. And that's kind of the way Mack did it. And I'd imagine that the guy that drove this truck probably thought it was a Dragonfly truck. You know what a Dragonfly is? Drags up one side of the hill and flies down the other.
Ah, yes, I've driven those, folks. Yes.
But that's all there is about this old truck. It's part of the family, and I try to take care of it the best I can, but sometimes it gets away from me a little bit. And I just take it to shows and just enjoy myself with it. You meet a lot of good people, meet a lot of new people, and it's just the way it is. And I wouldn't trade anything for this truck or the way my life is. That's the story on this old truck.
Well, thank you very much for letting us see this. This is a beautiful piece of history right here.